And before that, we enter the movie-making world as Terry Gilliam takes us behind the scenes of his latest film.
You won't get far on hot air and fantasy.
This is a film for overreachers, really. I mean, we've all gone far beyond what we should have tried to make this film. I mean, the film is like the stories. They're impossible. You can't do it. You can't make this film. This film is impossible.
On a beach in Spain, Terry Gilliam is demanding the impossible for his new film, The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. Suffering for their art are John Neville as the Baron, fellow Canadian Sarah Polly as his young sidekick Sally Salt, and as his four servants, Winston Dennis, Jack Purvis, Charles McEwan and Eric Idle.
Well, I've never worked for him before and I won't be back.
He's hilarious. He's crazy. He's just crazy.
Total madman, really. And I guess only he could take on this movie or invent it or do it and get it done. He is totally crazy.
The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. What is it about? It's about lies. It's about the greatest liar the world has ever known. It's about flying to the moon, meeting 60-foot-high people with detachable heads. It's floating through the center of the Earth, meeting Vulcan and Venus. It's being swallowed by whales. It's flying on cannonballs. It's dancing in the sky. It's normal, everyday sort of film.
Can I help you, tiny mortal?
I sincerely hope so. I'm Baron Munchausen. You may have heard of me.
The film opens with a stage performance in the ruined theatre of a besieged town. Bill Patterson plays the stage Munchausen, but the performance is interrupted by the real Baron, and the film subsequently follows him on his quest to liberate the town with the help of his four fabulous servants. Their leader is played by Terry's old friend of Monty Python days, Eric Idle.
About a year ago, when I used to be a human being and lived in England and had hair, Terry Gilliam brought this screenplay to me and he was very depressed about it. And I read it and it's a wonderful screenplay, it really is. And like a fool, I said, it's a wonderful screenplay, you must make it, it'll make a great film. Now, had I stopped there and said, and go away and leave me alone, all would have been well. But no, I had to open my mouth and say, and I wouldn't mind playing Desmond, it seems a nice part, we'd have a lot of fun. So I'm paying for it now.
You swine! You toddled off with the old Queen of Tarts and left me to rot in that parrot cage, didn't you? And now you come back here just because it suits you after wasting half my life and expect me to follow you to the ends of the earth. Yes. Oh, all right.
The American-born Gilliam came to filmmaking after his term as animator with the Monty Python team. Since then, he's directed a series of pictures, including Time Bandits and Brazil. These were all made in England, his adopted home. But for Baron Munchausen, he went to the Italian Cinecittà studios, just outside of Rome.
Over the years, I've just worked with a smaller and smaller group of people who get on very well, and we've worked out a lot of shorthand. We've worked out a way of working together, and in a way I've set all that behind, come to this new place. And I don't know why I did it. I mean, partly just possibly I was getting too smug in England. Life was getting too easy, so I decided to sort of chop off one foot, tie an arm behind my back, stick a bandage over my head, and come out here and see if we could make a film.
one, take one, NBC camera. And so, I bid farewell to my horn-headed, three-legged friends, and prepared to return across the sea of wine to my native land.
Cut, thank you. Okay, that was terrible. All right, now the sun is to constantly keep moving. The sun went too high, the horn-headed friend came in too late, the rope was early, but other than that, Bill was great.
Gilliam wrote the script in collaboration with the actor Charles McEwan. They've worked together before on the script for Brazil. This time they were inspired by the Munchausen tales, which date back to the 18th century.
They're sort of parodies of travellers' tales of the period. I can imagine people coming back from all over the planet saying they'd seen extraordinary stories, lies about having seen creatures with 3 heads and so on. And it's a sort of parody of that in a sense.
I was very impressed from the screenplay, the way they'd managed to collide them into one story. I thought that's always the danger of doing tales. That, oh, here we go into this tale and that tale, and that's one of the clever things, is how they interweave the fantasy and the reality.
What happened in the story?
What?
In the Sultan's palace. Did you escape? Were you killed?
I don't know. It was all a long time ago. Who cares?
I do.
I'm very tired. Goodbye.
Please tell me.
Nope.
Go on.
Buzz off.
Tell me! Please.
We've got a script. I've got very clear ideas in my head. I storyboard things. It takes a long time working with everybody. With, say, Dante Ferretti, who's the designer on it and is absolutely brilliant. But it's trying to get him into my brain is the thing. It helps a lot that I can draw, because I can say that, and red, I can say, no, that's not like that. Let's do that. And that cuts through a lot of our problems, but it seems to be difficult. It always is frustrating for me, because to me it seems so obvious what I'm trying to do, and yet even in England, with people I'd worked with a lot, they still had problems trying to understand exactly what I was after. I need a bit of space to work in, and what's happening in Italy so far is that I really like having everybody very organized around me, very organized people, and that leaves me room to be chaotic in. The Italian system is chaos from the word go, and so there's very little room for me at the moment. I didn't really set out to do Munchausen. It sort of happened. I always get this feeling about the films. They make themselves, and I become, I'm merely the hand that does the writing. But the films just start happening. They take you over, and you become their hapless victim. You drag as many of your friends in, and somehow the film makes itself.
It's an invigorating process, and the experience that I've had working with him is on projects which have a kind of yeast-like quality, which they continue to. You don't just write the script and it's all dead from there on in. It's constantly changing, so it's quite interesting.
It'll get worse as it goes on, because you develop strange identifications with the characters. In Brazil, I was Sam, and the making of the film was very much like the film, and in this one is going to be the same problem, I think. Only this one has a happy ending. That's the only advantage to it.
And you are?
I think I'm him. No, I've got to be the Baron, I think, because it is very much like that, going off doing impossible adventures, gathering together a lot of reluctant people who claim they can't do it because the circumstances are too overwhelming, and trying to somehow force them to do the impossible.
Where are you going?
Give myself up.
What?
I gave my word that I would raise the siege and save the town. And I gathered you all here for that purpose. If you want to see Baron Munchausen again, you'd better do something about it.